Former police officer turned rideshare driver nabbed for sexually assaulting a passenger. What up, folks? Once again, it is your boy Tim with another ride sharing video. This one is actually a follow-up, but damn, is there some stuff to be asked here. This is in regards to a video I did the other day in regards to Luis Alberto De Leon Jr., a 30-year-old Uber driver that was on the run for allegedly sexually assaulting a passenger in the vehicle. Now listen to what the sheriff's deputies have to say in regards to why they arrested him, or better yet, how they arrested him. And the details of this story lead some hellified questions to be asked.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. We're giving an update on a case that we put out a couple of days ago on a wanted felony suspect on a sexual assault. This morning, I'm happy to say that we were able to get that suspect into custody. Luis Alberto De Leon, 30 years of age, was an Uber driver at the time that this case happened. What we were able to find out is in early March, the San Antonio Police Department handed over a case to the sheriff's office that initially they started investigating the case, but soon thereafter found that the sexual assault was alleged to have occurred outside the city limits of San Antonio, thereby in the unincorporated area of Bexar County, which made it our jurisdiction. They handed that case over and we began investigating. What we were able to determine is that around February 25th, a 45-year-old victim, female victim, made an outcry that she had been taking an Uber ride from a bar with some friends when the suspect in the case, the Uber driver, forced himself into the back seat and forced himself on her sexually, committed a sexual assault, and then dropped her off nearby. That victim made an outcry soon thereafter, and as I mentioned, the San Antonio Police Department began investigating. They were able to very quickly identify the suspect, the driver, as De Leon. They began the preliminary part of the investigation. It was handed over to us. We continued on with the investigation, and over the course of the past several weeks, we've been continuing to work on the case. Several days ago, we did obtain a warrant for the arrest of De Leon, and we found out that he was out of state. We did put this information out through the mainstream media. Find out that soon after we put the information out, friends and family of De Leon started warning him that he was being blasted out on media and social media, that he was wanted. At that point, we were able to determine that he was indeed out of state, and he began to make his way back to Texas. This morning, we were able to make an arrest of De Leon in the downtown area without incident, and so we're happy to report that he is now in custody. The reason that we felt compelled to put out the information was twofold. One, we don't know if this had occurred to any other victims, and so we want to make sure that we let everybody know that this person, unfortunately, was in a position to be able to be in similar circumstances with other victims. And we would like anybody that has any information on other incidents that may have occurred with De Leon to please give us a call, 210-335-6070, or bcsotips@bear.org. Additionally, we also know that at one point in his career, De Leon had worked as a police officer. Although he is not currently employed as a peace officer, I don't believe anybody is holding his peace officer license at present. He does still possess a peace officer license. And so again, in his dealings as a law enforcement officer, although we don't have any information to indicate that he was involved in anything improper, again, we still want everybody to know who this person is, and that they can report any other misconduct involving this suspect.
Former police officer. Now, obviously, there's some few things you have to look at here. For any passengers that might be watching the video, anytime a driver stops the vehicle and gets in the back seat with you, that ride is over. If you can get out of the car, that ride is over. And there's no damn reason why a driver should ever get in the back seat with a passenger. So that should have been a clear red flag. Now, in this case, it suggests that he picked up this victim from a bar. So there's no knowing if the passenger was asleep, inebriated. Any of us in ride sharing that have dealt with the after club crowd, we pick up passengers that go to sleep or are drunk in our vehicles all the time. So we have all had passengers like this where you picked up and you probably could get in the back seat and be right up on them before they realized it. Nevertheless, in this case, it does sound like he did this in his vehicle after climbing in the back seat. Now, the authorities suggested he asked her to first sit in the front seat, and she refused to sit up front with him. I don't know if that's a red flag, because I personally request all my passengers to sit in the back seat. I don't like passengers up front with me, so I usually will put something on the seat. You guys let me know in the comments, particularly my veteran drivers, do you prefer passengers up front or do you prefer them behind you? Could be safety reasons, levels of comfort, things like that. So I prefer passengers in the back. Hell, if I could, I would have a damn partition in my vehicle, because we are in danger too. Nevertheless, this is a story about a driver that actually committed the assault on a passenger. The biggest issue of all that we absolutely have to question, this guy was a former police officer. Number one question, why the hell is he no longer wearing a badge? Obviously, we all know rideshare does not pay a hell of a lot of money. Certainly does not come with any perks compared to a law enforcement official. So what led him to leave law enforcement and become a rideshare driver? So that's the first question we have to ask is, why the hell is he not a cop? Was he fired? Was he brought up on misconduct? Because that immediately goes into the second question. If he is willing to do this as a rideshare driver with little to no power at all, what the hell might he be capable of with the power of the badge? What's in this man's past? Now, the authorities did provide information and numbers on how to contact them if you have experienced any issues with this individual in the past. My humble opinion, considering the fact that he used to be a cop and he felt comfortable enough to do this as a rideshare driver, wouldn't surprise me at all if he's done some serious dirt when he actually had the power of the badge behind him. Nevertheless, I just wanted to bring you this video because it is a follow-up, because in the last video, this guy was on the run. Sounds like a genuine bad guy. Hopefully he gets his comeuppance, and if there are any other victims out there, they do get to state their point. Nevertheless, it is your boy Tim. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.